All right, you bloodthirsty animals. I'm doing the Huberman thing. It's morning time. Sitting here thinking about UFC 301. It's in the books. Let's run down the results, talk about a few of the fights. More importantly, let's talk about the bets we made, the bets we didn't make, lessons learned from all of that. Let's go. First things first, the Gene Silva and Gomes fight. Dude, I don't know if you guys saw my post on Gomes, but I kind of heard he almost died. So weight cutting is the thing. It should probably be a thing that we should stop, but lesson learned from that. That's why, for the most part, wait till weigh-ins to make bets, because that was a pick 'em line when it started. And then you saw Gomes get on the scale, 3 pounds underweight, with a shirt on, barely able to walk. That tells us a lot. And sometimes you can't cash out those bets. So in this case, he didn't end up fighting. It wouldn't have made a difference. But if you're leveraging parlays and they take that piece out, a pick 'em piece out, that changes your odds quite a bit. So just food for thought. Most of the time I wait till after weigh-ins to make the vast majority of my bets. Maybe you should too, maybe not. First fight of the card, Drakkar Klose taking on Joaquin Silva. Klose won by decision. It was a pretty good fight. Back and forth fight. Kind of hard to call, which is why we didn't bet it. We knew Drakkar should have probably been bigger and stronger, but we also know he's traveling and making weight in a different country, and that can be a factor. So we stayed away from that fight. We just enjoyed it, watched it. There it is. Next fight was Miktabek Otabay taking on Elvis Brenner. Good fight. We had Otabay. It was a closer fight than than the odds would make you think. And so that was a tough one, tough pill to swallow. But out of all of the odds, because the lines were super chalky, so out of all the odds, Otabay was probably one of the closer ones to pick. Elvis Brenner still a tough out. So I think we touched that line on a longer parlay, but that wasn't part of our core, one of our core parlays, because you never know. Next fight, Yasmin Lucindo taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz. This was the one, it was a wide line, but we did end up putting this on our 3-leg parlay, our main parlay, because Lucindo's a beast. She's younger. The age discrepancy was huge. Anything over 9 years, I've said this before, statistically, anything over 9-year discrepancy, the vast majority of the time the younger fighter wins. So she was worth it, even though I think by the time we made the bet, she was like minus 550 or 450, something like that. It was a super chalky line, but worth adding in because of the likelihood, super likely that she was going to win that, and she did pretty easily. I love Karolina Kowalkiewicz, but she's just not it anymore. Simple as that. Next fight, Joanderson Brito takes on Jack Shore. He defeated Jack Shore by KO TKO. This is a good fight. I have a problem with betting for or against Jack Shore, just because there's a lot of potential there. He seems like he can do a lot. It was on foreign territory. That should let us know. But in any case, I was okay just leaving that fight alone and watching it, seeing how Shore develops and seeing how Brito develops. So there it is. Then there was Alessandro Costa taking on Kevin Borjas. I should have put money and emphasis. Sorry, I'm Hubermaning right now. On Costa. That's the one that got away this week. There's always going to be one, and it is what it is, but at the same time, that line was close, and it was closer than it should have been, because Costa's real. We saw in his last fight against Steve Erceg, he's not an easy out. Steve Erceg showed that he's got something going on too, right? But we'll get to that later. In any case, beats Kevin Borjas by KO TKO, and it was as easy as it should have been. It went the way you would think if you're on the Costa side. It could have gone, and I wish I would have hammered that line, to be honest with you. That's the one that got away. But it is what it is. We move on. Ismael Bonfim beat Pichel by decision. That was a little bit closer than I thought it needed to be. I thought he was gonna wipe up Vince, just use him as a mop on the mat, but that's not what happened. It was a better fight than I thought it was gonna be. I think I did a little prop bet, just sprinkle in, playing around for Bonfim by KO in the first round, and then the second round I stacked them, and I just put like a fraction of a unit on just to play around. But usually I don't announce those because those are distractions, keeps you away from the main bets. What I want to do is give you guys a couple super solid parlays that I just say, this is the one. Even if the lines are chalky, the goal is to get at least even money or plus money, and then we could start talking about more risky stuff later on. But man, steak and potatoes. 3-leg parlay that plays close to even money, we'll take it. Units are units. Let's go. Next fight, Dion Barbosa defeated Ernesta by decision. One of the least interesting fights, or one of the fights that I had the least amount of interest in. So I didn't even bother. I just said, I'll just watch it, see what happens. I'm not going to spend a lot of time researching that one. There you go. It is what it is. They can't all be home runs, guys. Okay? Not all the fights are going to be home runs. There's going to be fights that are just in there taking up space, and that's okay. That is okay. Dana, it's okay. You are forgiven. Next fight, Mauricio Rufy knocked the snot out of Jamie Mullarkey in the first round. This should have happened. The odds say it was going to happen. The people said it was going to happen. I didn't make that bet that it was going to happen because this was going to be Rufy's first time at 155. And generally speaking, as a general rule, I don't like putting money on guys who are coming down in weight, especially when you're talking about welterweight to lightweight. That's a big jump. 15 pounds is more than 10 pounds. So I didn't even bother. I said, let's see what Rufy's got. Maybe next time we'll throw some money on him. Probably be chalkier line depending on who he's fighting. But also at the same time, I didn't want to touch that one because Jamie Mullarkey can be really, really good. A lot of times he's good. Sometimes he can be really, really good and put everything together and wrestle and box and do stuff better than what he did. So for me, it wasn't worth the risk. But then when Rufy got the first round knockout, I was like, yeah, well, there you go. We thought he could, and he did by quite a bit. Anyways, we move on. Main card, Caio Borralho. Barralo. I want to speak Portuguese someday. Dude knocks Paul Craig into a different dimension of space and time. If I had sound effects, if my editor could do sound effects, it would be going right now. Because he took Paul Craig into the Twilight Zone. He knocked him back to the Braveheart days where his war paint would have been much more relevant, much more realistic. He went sleepy time. He did the whole, my body's crumbling. And it was kind of satisfying. I don't know why. I don't have anything against Paul Craig, but I don't have anything for him. And I don't mind seeing him get knocked out. So, good times. Good job, Bojalo. Hey. Yeah, bro. Didn't put money on that one because people are dumb sometimes and they want to mess around in Paul Craig's guard and then they find out. They F around and they find out, and I didn't want to find out. So I didn't put money on it. I just watched the fight, enjoyed the knockout, and moved on with my day to the next fight. Michel Pereira. Dude, he made, you see how much I'm sweating right now? That's how much I was sweating after the fight when they were doing the slow motion replay of his backflip and his shin grazing the side of the face of Poteria. Sorry, a little touch of the Alzheimer's right there. Dude, because we were partying. That was our third leg on the pick that I let out the day before or the day of, whenever it was. Like and subscribe, guys. Hit the notifications because a lot of times I make those bets like the day of. And I don't worry about the line shifting. I worry about cashing units, putting units in my bank account. And that's what we're doing. So hit the notifications because you might get that last minute. Boom, here's a 3-leg, here's a 4-leg, here's, I try not to do 4 legs, but you know what I'm saying. So like and subscribe because that one was kind of an easier call, except when he does a freaking backflip and knees the dude or shins the dude, grazes the dude in the cranial area. Bro, we were sitting there. I might have pooped just a little bit in my chonies. I don't know. But usually I don't like to bet Pereira because he does crazy stuff like that. But he's been a little bit calmer, a little bit more sensible lately. I should have known he was going to do some crazy shit in Brazil because he's Brazilian and he was in Brazil. But lesson learned, he made us sweat a little bit. We're just able to cash that ticket. So let's go. Next fight, Anthony Smith, Victor Petrino. I like Victor Petrino for this fight. Most people like Victor Petrino for this fight. I didn't bet it because Anthony Smith is not just delusional, but sometimes right. And he's super inconsistent, which means sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's really not. Sometimes people do dumb stuff, like try to hit a takedown and stick their neck in too far and get guillotined by a guy whose only chance is probably get a guillotine or a triangle. And sure enough, Vitor was in the vortex and got fucked. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what are you gonna do? Chalk it up. That's why we didn't put Vitor on the parlay, because, not because of him so much, but really because Smith. And now that he won, thank you, Vitor. You put us in the vortex of Anthony's continued delusional ways. Now we have to listen to him go on and on about how everybody in the division knows and how he's gonna choke out Poatan. Like, come on, dude. We have to play this song? The days are gone, bro. The days are gone. Let it go. Fight. Be a fighter. But, dude, stop. Stop with everybody knowing you're that guy, okay? It's sad and frustrating. I don't know why we care so much what you think about yourself, but we do. And it's frustrating when it's not based in reality. It's only based on small percentage of moments of reality and not the big picture. So, I don't know. If Anthony Smith gets a title shot against Poatan, it's total BS. But at the same time, it should be a little bit fun. And I just hope that Peloton is able to enlighten Anthony Smith and relieve him, banish some of his ignorance with a left hook maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he gets it. But he got it done this time, so good for you, Anthony. Good for you. Next fight, co-main event. Jose Aldo, the King of Rio, is back, baby. I was super happy to see his performance. I was a little bit concerned about him on the weigh-ins because he didn't look great. But, man, that was a performance. That was a performance against a young, dangerous opponent in Jonathan Martinez. And just the skill level was there. The speed was there. Dude, his hands, his head movement, bro, that was beautiful to see. It was good to see him putting leg kicks together. It was beautiful to see him checking leg kicks. The handwork, though, was slick, sharp, fast. It was a thing of beauty. If you want to look at fights and just say, hey, what is it supposed to look like? What is a good striker supposed to look like? What is a good striker, boxer, Muay Thai guy, whatever you want to call it? What is it supposed to look like when they're in there? What's the head movement, positioning, all of that stuff supposed to look like? That's a case study right there. So pause it, take a look. Whatever you do, turn down the volume. Do not listen to commentating when you're watching fights for technical stuff, because it doesn't always translate. Let's just say that. I'll do a video on that later, but it gets rough. The more fights you watch, like a lot of times when I'm watching a live fight, it's too loud to hear anything that the commentators are saying. But when you're doing tape study, all you hear is the commentators, and some of that stuff is not as accurate as it should be. There it is. Main event of the evening. Pantoja defeats Steve Erceg after a 5-round super battle. A lot of people are upset at this fight. They're upset at the decision. They're saying that Erceg got robbed, that it was the worst decision. And honestly, I disagree. I think the worst decision was Steve Erceg continuing to go for takedowns and trying to overmix it, okay? I get the idea. Get him tired, whether you hit the takedown or not. Wear him down a little bit. Give him other stuff to think about. But honestly, dude, when your game plan that everyone sees, that we know that you see too, is working, and you do the exact opposite of that, you could very well lose a decision. And that's basically what happened, especially in that last round. Erceg, the whole time, when he had him at distance, he was doing exactly what we thought and said he could do. He could pick him apart, he could jab him to death, he could set up that left hook, and he could be slick enough and defensive enough to stay away from those wild, flailing shots. And he did. He did all of those things, and he did them well. And every once in a while, he would go in and tie up and scramble, go for a takedown, end up in a scramble, and end up in bad positions, and that's exactly what happened. He didn't get robbed by the judges. He robbed himself. He robbed himself by just trying to do too much. You're doing way too much. That's what people say nowadays, right? You're doing way too much. Well, Steve Erceg was doing way too much. He effed around and he found out. Honestly, what we said it was. A very tough fight, close lines, good battle, a worthy opponent, and we're never gonna put, guys, everybody put your right hand up. Say, I'm never gonna put down a fight when it's a top 10 guy fighting for the title, because I complain when champions don't defend their titles against all challengers. I don't remember verbatim what I said, but I hope you said it too, because that was a worthy battle of, worthy of our time maybe of our money, but definitely gave us a main event fight worth watching. So Steve, thank you. Made a couple bad decisions. I don't feel so bad. I like Pantoja as being a champion for a little while, because he could have been champion a couple years ago but didn't get the shot. And so I don't mind seeing him hold on to the belt, take on a few more guys. And one thing is for sure, Steve Erceg is here. He's here to stay. That was his 4th fight in the UFC. Imagine by the time he has his 8th fight in the UFC. That dude is the real deal. Composure, composure, composure. He got some ring experience today, or the other day, a little lesson, what to do, what not to do. We know why he went for the takedowns. It just didn't work out for him. So next time, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's probably the lesson he'll learn. But overall, awesome event, great outcomes. We hit our 3-leg parlay, which was our main bet that we put multiple units on. So we're up multiple units over the past couple weeks. We're gonna keep it going. We got some good picks already, some prelim picks already for this weekend's fight. I'll release a video later on about that, so stay tuned. Like, subscribe, notifications, especially the notifications, because I put my picks on shorts and they're usually pretty late, but they're also pretty on point. So if you want to cash tickets, let's get it. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Ding, bong, bing, ding, bong, bang, do. Peace.